Hi everyone. The team of Creatio is excited to welcome you at Accelerate Global. 8 months ago, we wouldn't have imagined having 20,000 people from all over the world join in one virtual platform to attend Accelerate Global. We launched the event in the morning Indonesian time, and we will wrap it up with the Californian sunset. It's a unique privilege to gather our customers and partners from 100 countries at the same time on the same platform. Thank you very much for being with us during this 24-hour marathon. For many generations, 2020 has been a life-changing year. Along with great challenges, this year brought great opportunities. As the old saying goes, never waste a crisis. It took companies just 6 months to transform to a point they thought would take 6 years. Isn't it a time machine in action? I continuously hear from Creatio customers and partners that pandemic put them years ahead of where they would have expected to be right now. One of the surveys, by the way, says that 77% of CEOs believe that pandemic created significant new opportunities for their companies. And perhaps the most surprising is the speed up in creating different types of digital offerings. Across region, the data suggests a 7-year increase in the rate at which companies are developing digital products and digital services. The leap is even greater in Asia. It is 10 years. What really excites me is how fast the companies manage to respond to multiple challenges just within a couple of months. And the analysis says companies moved 40 times more quickly than they thought possible before the pandemic. Before pandemic, it would have taken more than a year to implement the level of remote working that took place during the crisis. On average, by the way, it took 11 days to implement remote operations in different companies. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't it the proof of what Darwin said 200 years ago? It is not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is the most adaptable to change. So let's talk about adaptability. Not only did the virus prove we are productive remotely and can collaborate efficiently with distributed teams, it also brought new rules for our office spaces. Welcome to the reimagined workplace. During these unprecedented times, thanks to VR and AR technology, some organizations have discovered that with mixed reality, their employees can effectively execute their duties. Facebook recently presented its concept called Infinite Office, which allows people to enter a huge virtual workspace where a person can run multiple screens of all sizes. What's more, Facebook is working with Logitech to develop a physical keyboard that would work in VR. My favorite, fashion industry, has reimagined itself. British Fashion Council announced that London's Spring Summer 2021 showcase would take place in an entirely digital format. Over 120 designers and creators received a platform to connect with millions of people worldwide. The show reached 3.5 million people across various platforms. Just think about it. How huge is the difference with a regular group of few selected individuals that are invited to offline shows? Another great example. Events industry reinvented itself. Here at Creatio, we have always wanted to connect companies and people around the world. So we launched our offline global tour. We traveled around the world, we visited dozens of countries with Accelerate event. But this year, our dream of a truly global event has come true. Visitors from the most remote corners of the planet can communicate with each other and exchange experiences through 24-hour live stream Accelerate Global event. And all this happened in the shortest possible time. We all know that the human nature allows us to adapt really fast. The question is, how organizations can adapt even faster in this new reality. The foundation of any successful enterprise has not changed. It's people, processes, and tech. A successful leader knows how to master a discipline of managing all three pillars. If you ask a successful executive or a line manager or a team leader who in the organization is accountable for hiring, onboarding, developing, and retaining your team, you will most probably hear the same answer again and again. I am. Of course, we have HR, recruiters, and many other people helping us. But a successful executive, a successful line manager, or a team leader will always take full responsibility for his or her people. Now, let's talk processes. And again, if you ask a successful executive who is the owner of the business processes in your organization, you'll most probably hear the same answer. I am. And now, let's ask the same executive, who is the owner of the technology you use for your daily operations to automate the processes of your department? And most often, you'll hear the answer. Our IT department is the owner of our tech and systems. The question arises, if I'm responsible for the outcome and the end result of my business unit or organization as a whole, why I own only 2 pillars out of 3? And more importantly, how can I take ownership over technologies used in my business unit to automate business processes? To answer these questions, let's talk about the options available for the enterprises to automate their processes. Traditionally, enterprises have considered one of 2 options to automate the process. One is using out-of-the-box packaged apps. The advantage of the packaged app is fast time to value, but lack of agility. The other option, on the contrary, is custom development. You get all flexibility in the world, but long time to value. These traditional approaches are being disrupted today by the low-code platforms. This is the alternative that presents the best of 2 worlds. It unites flexibility of the custom app, but at the same time, it delivers much faster time to value. Here at Creatio, we believe that now is the time to create low-code companies. So what exactly does it mean? It means that business users become the owners of their tech. Thanks to the low-code platforms, everyone becomes a developer. Business users can create their own apps and processes using low-code technologies. Users define system logic, build custom interfaces, integrate their apps with other solutions. They build analytics. They become the real owners of their tech. This is what a low-code company means. At the same time, IT continues to play even more important role within the organization, being responsible for security and system administration, complex integrations, and overall consistency of the IT landscape. Gartner believes that by 2024, 65% of applications will be built on low-code technology. So low-code is definitely the way forward with all the advantages it brings to enterprises and business users. However, the question is, how can we help business users accelerate their time to value even more? And the answer to this question is to have purpose-built apps on top of the platform. Here at Creatio, we merged 3 technologies into one: a low-code platform, a business process management engine, and world-class out-of-the-box apps for sales, marketing, and service. This helps our customers create a low-code company utilizing the beauty of the low-code BPM platform and best-of-breed ready-to-go apps built on top of the platform. Moreover, using these apps is seamless for everyone. Our users can start their journey with the sales app, add marketing and service after, all on one platform with the same user experience and user interface. This combination of the low-code technologies, BPM and CRM, brings a unique value to our customers. As with traditional CRM, they don't get needed flexibility of customization. While with the standard low-code platforms, they won't get exceptional time to value when automating customer-facing and operational processes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world where any business idea can be automated in minutes. I am thrilled to give this floor now to Creatio customers who'll share their inspiring stories of building low-code companies.
Thank you, Catherine, so much. I really appreciate that. And I couldn't be more excited to introduce everyone to a handful of our customers right now. The first one being Ent Credit Union. Now, Ent Credit Union is a top 25 credit union in the United States, expanding its presence throughout the state of Colorado, and has around $6 billion in assets under management, serving over 400,000 customers in more than 14 counties. Now, Ent Credit Union realized that new times require new approaches and are focusing on equipping their staff with best-of-breed tools and technologies that'll help the credit union provide its members with delightful experiences. They're clearly growing at a rapid pace, and that therefore requires a lot of change. So the low-code approach allows them to introduce new processes and consolidate technologies to provide better experience to their members. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking the time. I just have a handful of questions that we'd all really like to know the answers to. First and foremost, what prompted Ent Credit Union to implement a low-code platform for process management and CRM back in 2019?
We are in a rapid growth and expansion phase for the credit union. And we want to ensure that we have resources available to continue to provide the same level of service to our members or customers as we have throughout the years. And we were really looking for a solution that helps us to manage those relationships without necessarily having to rely on our IT team who has enough on their plate already. So having a low-code solution helps us to do that.
Well, that's an amazing number of projects. In fact, that leads to my next question, in that you have roughly 850 users of Creatio today, and only 2 people supporting all of those great projects that you mentioned, customizing the applications they use. That's really a great illustration of how non-IT power users can have tremendous impact. Can you share with us a bit about how are you managing to accomplish all of that with really only the 2 resources focusing on that?
We do leverage our IT team for the integration still. So as we integrate with our legacy systems, they have been involved in that. We have leveraged an implementation partner for some of the more advanced pieces of our user experience and the front end. But when it comes to our process development, dashboards, analytics, and support, that has really been myself and my CRM administrator who has done that.
Excellent, thank you. Adding on to that, in your organization, my understanding is one of the KPIs for the managers is the number of Creatio users. Why do you believe that business leaders should be responsible for technology and so much as for the people and processes? And I'm sure the audience would love to understand also is, do you have any insights and recommendations on that approach for executives of other organizations?
A tool is only as effective as the people who use it. So if we are not getting engagement, if we're not having users, if we're not having the activity on the system, then the system, the launch of the system, the effectiveness of the data in the system aren't as valid. So having the KPI of the number of users on the system and the engagement of those users with the system is an important metric to be able to know that that launch and that implementation has been successful, let alone what your goal was. If your goal was to deepen relationships or to deepen product sales, if you don't have the users on board, then you're not going to have that penetration. So that's where that metric is important and valuable when we're looking at it across the board for the leadership team.
Excellent, thank you. Well, it's very clear to me that your case is a great example of creating a low-code company. What business outcomes did you identify as achieved upon your transformation journey, and how in general does being a low-code company benefit your entire business?
One is agility. Agility has been a big outcome of being low-code. Launching in an agile format, when you're adding new business lines and users, you are continually evaluating and re-evaluating the success of how they're using it. So our launch was with our indirect team, which was a brand new team at that time of folks who called out, so outbound calls, to people who got a loan at a car dealer. We needed to have the ability to revise when we called out, how the activities were created, how activities were canceled, what kind of follow-up was needed. And in a low-code system, it didn't take an IT team 2 weeks to do it. It took me in a meeting 5 minutes. Wow. So being able to have that kind of agility when you're working with your users and being able to talk about the flow of how data works is where a lot of that success came from. So when we were launching with it, with the teams, I would say the continual evaluation of how the flow is working, how the processes are working, how the users are using it. I think that's also been a key factor, really giving the users the opportunity to provide feedback and to be able to, in those meetings, real time, affect the feedback so they could see what the criteria they had actually did to either their dashboards, their reports, or to how the activities themselves might be generated, or to how a lead might be closed.
Wonderful. That's truly amazing. And I just want to, again, thank you for taking the time to share that with us. And we look forward to hearing about all of your future successes. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm thrilled to talk about our next customer, Ivy Ventures. Ivy Ventures is a business services company focused on the healthcare industry, and the company is going through phenomenal growth and expansion. Now, the recent healthcare crisis has completely reshaped all of our understanding and expectations about the healthcare industry. So the entire healthcare system and service providers now need to rapidly change and adapt to address new and unforeseen challenges, and Ivy Ventures, of course, is no different. So Ivy is using Creatio to fulfill its unique requirements for service management and is constantly expanding their use cases to additional business functions. There is no time to wait or waste, and thus Ivy Ventures is laser focused on time to market and to deploy the needed functionality without the need of additional overhead. Welcome everyone. This is Andy Zambito, Chief Sales Officer Americas for Creatio, and I'm really thrilled to be joined right now by our customer Ivy Ventures, and I'm joined by Milan and Nels. If you'll please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Milan DiPiero. I'm a partner and the Chief Operating Officer for Ivy Ventures.
My name is Nels Yanert, and I manage and own our data processes here at Ivy Ventures.
Thank you both so much again for joining us. Let's dive into our questions. So from Ivy's founding, your organization has seen tremendous growth and made great strides. Can you share with us, how does partnering with Creatio and specifically leveraging the low-code platform help support this fast growth? And how does it fit into the future vision you have for Ivy Ventures?
Yeah, you know, the low-code technology has really given us the ability to work smarter instead of harder as we've grown. We've had tremendous growth over the last 5 years. I think our company has grown by 400% since 2015. And even with all that growth in employees, the support folks and the support team in headquarters has practically stayed the same. And we've been able to maintain that low overhead as a result of some of the efficiencies that the Creatio platform has enabled for us. So, you know, working smarter instead of harder is one big key to the low-code platform. And then the other one is just being able to react more quickly to changes in our business. So we had previously outsourced some of our technology development. But that was expensive and slow in implementing changes. And so having control over the development environment, having the intuitive nature of the low-code platform allows us to control our development and react more quickly to changes in our business environment.
How does leveraging a low-code platform for process management and CRM help Ivy Ventures to react and adapt to the new normal we're all living in?
As Milan mentioned a minute ago, our ability to make rapid changes is greatly enhanced because of using the low-code platform. So an example of this is, with the COVID pandemic recently, we were able to very quickly adapt our scheduling workflow and create work lists in the healthcare environment. There were a lot of patients that deferred or declined their exams due to concerns about the COVID virus. So with this platform, we were able to quickly adapt our process and create work lists for our scheduling coordinators to be able to recapture those patients and get them back on the schedule and provide better patient care.
As healthcare consultants, your success is directly related to the communication and relationship with the physicians and healthcare establishments you work with. Have you seen a dramatic improvement in the communication? And if so, what do you contribute this to?
Yeah, our communication has really been enhanced through our ability to provide more specific information to both our clients as well as to the referring physicians. We now have real-time access to the work that's being done in the Creatio platform, which allows us to be more accurate in our communications. We've been able to also integrate the Creatio platform into our data warehouse so that we can combine information from Creatio with other information sources and provide a much richer level of communication to the hospitals and the referring physicians.
Adoption of a new technology is always key to a successful rollout. What are your thoughts on the keys to a successful rollout for you, and how has your team adapted to the Creatio platform? And specifically, how do you build the automation needed with having a lean IT team?
In terms of the adoption, all of our new employees and coordinators who start using the tool and training have found it very intuitive, so we've been very pleased with that.
Your case is an amazing example of creating a low-code company. How do you feel Ivy Ventures' key business operations have changed because of that, and how does being a low-code company benefit your business overall?
Yeah, absolutely. Our processes have definitely changed. One of the reasons we were excited about implementing Creatio is the ability to increase our automation and allow our employees to become more efficient at doing their jobs. And I believe we've seen that our schedulers especially are able to do more work, and also we're very excited about the additional information that we're capturing out of Creatio, which we're able to load into our data warehouse and provide some analytics and reporting to our clients that we were previously unable to capture.
Yeah, and we've applied that low-code capability and process automation inwardly as well. So we created a couple of workflows specifically to help us deliver services to our clients. But then as we got familiar with the platform itself, we used it and focused it inwardly to improve our own business processes. And Nels has developed some HR workflows that we've adopted for recruiting, hiring, and onboarding new employees. So that's something that we developed and customized in-house. And we've also got a workflow for exiting employees from the organization. So it's really been a platform that we're using both externally to increase value and also internally.
Well, let me just take a moment to thank you both. It was an amazing set of insights that you shared with everyone, and we want to thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. The next customer I'm thrilled to speak to is Israeli National Roads. So the Israeli National Transport Infrastructure Company is a government-owned company responsible for the planning, development, and maintenance of all of Israel's interurban road network and railway development. And the Israeli government is investing a lot of resources into digital transformation and striving to provide all of its citizens with best-in-class service. This project is part of a much larger long-term vision of the government transformation program. And the deployment is focused on streamlining communication processes and the intelligent decision-making in regards to infrastructure projects. The primary use case, though, is a complex end-to-end management solution. These requests are aimed to initiate the review of the prospect of a new road or rail and are going through a sophisticated process of reviews and approvals. So the company has a large backlog to deliver. They are very unique projects by their nature, and in the meantime, of course, the timelines are extremely tight. Thus, low-code is the only way to accomplish both goals, provide a unique process automation, and deploy it all in a heartbeat. Well, so then how does that low-code strategy help the Israeli government and the National Road Company to react and adapt to the new normal?
So using Creatio's platform as time of new normal assists us with going digital from end to end, while eliminating the need for hundreds of deliveries done physically from one organization to another. So the new normal with the less physical contact is done using Creatio's platform.
So my last question is two parts. The first one being, how does being a low-code company benefit your business? Followed by, what business outcomes do you aim to achieve upon your transformation journey?
Well, our project consists of 24 government companies and over 60 municipalities across Israel. We understand a long journey waits up the road. Israel is planned to execute some of the largest transportation projects ever done here, including a subway, heavy rail, and a new metro. We understand the business potential in the aspect of financial saving, time to market for major infrastructure projects will affect each and every citizen in Israel for many years to come. So the outcome is pretty obvious, as we understand that everybody will gain profit from this project up to the last citizen of Israel.
That sounds amazing. Actually, I really appreciate you taking the time to share with us, and we certainly look forward to updates on the project as you proceed. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.